Hello to everyone. My name is Nelson Ramirez, and today I will talk to you a little bit about this amazing and interesting book called Camille. As you can see today, I will talk to you and I will give you my personal thoughts also about this interesting story. And we can say and we can relate sometimes to that because some people have gone through that situation in real life. So as you can see, this book was written by Mr. Alexandre Dumas, and we can talk and well, I will give you some general information about this book and how the writer try to show you some interesting things. For example, we can see this image right here. It was actually a real poster that was used in 1896. And as you can see, the name of the poster was La Dame Aux Camilias. The reason why they call it in that way is because this book was written actually in French. That's the real or the original language. As I said before, it was written by Mr. Alexander Dumas Face, which means son. They premiered on February 2nd, 1852. And one very important information is that it was first presented on Paris, France, in a place or in a theater called Théâtre du Vaudeville. So, as I said before, the original language on this one was French. We can also include three genres of this book tragedy, because in this book we can see the pain or the relationships or everything that this woman, Marguerite, she goes through. And that's why we call it tragedy, because we can see all the pain, all the situations she goes through or she faces in the story. Another thing, autobiography, we can call it in that way because the writer actually gets involved and he show us some part of the story which are real facts and realism. We can call it like that because in fact this woman, Marguerite Gautier, was actually based on a real story, was a real lover of the author. It was Marie Duplessis. So she was the woman or the lover of the author. And that's the reason why this character, Marguerite Gautier, she was actually inspired or based on that real woman. So this book has been performed and has been translated to 16 versions. And one of the most important ones is on Broadway. So it's been already there. In French, the real name of the book is La Dame aux Camilias. In English, is known as Camille. So we can see the main characters, and we're going to talk about Marguerite Gautier. She's the main protagonist of The Love with Armand Duval. And we can also say that she was a courtesan or a mistress woman related to many situations in her life. She went through so many difficulties and she get involved with the Duke and the Count. So the reason why she got involved in that is because she was exactly like it was similar to the Duke's daughter. So she gets involved on the society, let's say on the realness society, because this person helped her to go, to go into society. We can also talk about Armand Duval, who is a young man that gets in love of Margaret, and we can see all different things he does for love. And actually, Marguerite falls in love with him because he actually cares of her. And that was all she was asking for and waiting for. She also had some needs, and she also needed some money. But in fact, this young woman, Armand Duval, he loves her a lot. So he's, in some way, let's say, he's obsessed with the idea of being with Margaret because she was a very beautiful woman. and he wanted to be with her, and he was even trying to do a lot of different things just to get her love. So we can also have some secondary characters in which we can are Prudence de Bornay, Julia Duprat, Armand's father. We can also talk about Olympia, and the third characters, the Count, Lenin, Joseph, and Blanca. So the plots and conflicts that I could find on the book was the first one, social and class prejudices. We can see how society gets involved in all that because Armand's father, he didn't want everyone to know that they were in a relationship because he cared about what everybody else in society could have said about them. He thought that they were going to lost, a lot of, or they were going to lose the spot they had in society. We can also see the obstacles and difficulty of their relationship they both had. And everything gets involved into the class prejudices. Why? Because everyone thought that a mistress was not able to get in love with someone like him because he belonged to a different society. They were always classifying society in different categories. And according to them, he was at the top of the tower of the pyramid, and she was at the bottom. So no one wanted them to be together. You can also see and verify and understand the rejection of friends and family because no one wanted them to be happy. They were trying to go through their relationship without even taking care of what everybody else was. But Armand's family, they were all, well, actually, Armand's father, he was always there trying to do a lot of things to end that. So, my personal thoughts. I'm going to talk first about something that caught my attention, which is the fact that this relationship or this woman, Marguerite, it's based on a real woman called Mary Duplessis. So this book, Camille, talks about the tragic of love of the courtesan young man Armand, who loves and sacrifices, and he does a lot of things for her. So it's very interesting to see how this man can do or can sacrifice even his honor, let's say, because of society, to be able to be with this woman. Also, it says that we can see a narrator and in the book, we can see that he obviously narrates everything about Marguerite's death, and he's there. He's the one that listened to Armand's when he goes to see what he got, and he listens. The narrator, he listens to Armand's when he goes to see all the belongings that Marguerite had. So number three, I can say that Alexander Dumas shows part of the society normally left in the shadows and what I was trying to say with that is that I mean we can see how the writer or the author can tries to explain what these people or what these these women go through because they still exist in our society. So and that he tries to show the everything they go through. Also, we can also say the struggles she faced and how she encounters a lot of struggles and difficulty because of the pettiness of society. We can also see different things in which the author, for example, in chapter number 2, we can see that the author refers to the conflicts and how society see like to be a courtesan or a mistress, like something immoral to the word. And he can relate to them and says, poor souls, if it is not right to love them, it is not well to pity them. So we can see how the author was trying, to give to show all the things they go through and all the difficulties they go through, to explain us and let us know that it's not actually, it's they suffer a lot. Also in chapter number 7 we can see how he portrays Margaret, and he also closed the book saying something really really good. He says, the story of Margaret is an exception. I repeat, had it not been an exception, it would not have been worth the trouble of writing. Why? Because as I told you before, this Marguerite, this character Marguerite, it was also based on someone or the first lover of the author. So it's really amazing to see how he portrays her, and he tries to give this, like, he connect that to his real life. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for paying attention to that, and I hope you have a good day.